Yo, we ready to get right into this? That's a wild visual, ain't it? You got Rhea Ripley just on the screen. Let's see what they talking about.
Winning the Royal Rumble is one of the highest accolades a WWE star can achieve. Not only is your name etched in WWE history forevermore, but you're also guaranteed a World Championship match at WrestleMania. Sometimes, though, it pays to come second. These 9 men and 1 woman were all the last person thrown over the top rope by the eventual winner. However, when Mania rolled around, for one reason or another, they were the ones having the last laugh. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 Royal Rumble runner-ups who had better WrestleManias than the winner. Join us. Number 10, Chris Jericho. Normally, winning a match at Mania is much better than losing one, especially if it's for a World Championship. Sometimes, however, a match comes around that makes you rethink this simple logic. Chris Jericho came second in the 2012 Rumble, but somehow managed to wrangle a WWE Championship match against CM Punk at Mania 28. The two put on a great show, even if some would argue their Chicago Street Fight rematch at Extreme Rules was better, and Punk ended the night still champion after making Y2J tap out. So, who eliminated Jericho to win the Rumble? Sheamus? Oh no, that means this is 18 seconds. Yes, the Celtic Warriors' victory in the over-the-top showdown resulted in his infamous World Heavyweight Championship clash with Daniel Bryan. One mistimed kiss, a kiss timed miss you might say, later, and the Irishman defeated the American Dragon to win the belt in one of the most unpopular Mania decisions ever. Yes, I'm aware that this led to an increase in popularity for Bryan, and that without it, WrestleMania 30 may not have happened, but WWE didn't know that at the time, did they? He might have made good on his Rumble win, but this victory actually did Sheamus' career absolutely zero favours. Number 9, Gunther at WrestleMania 39. In a mirror image of The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels from 16 years earlier, Cody Rhodes and Gunther had their own epic mini-match to close out the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble. Rhodes, who had come in at number 30, sent the Austrian ace hurtling over the top rope, ending a match that had started with him as the very first entrant. What a bloody babyface. The American Nightmare went on to main event WrestleMania 39's second night. His opponent? Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns. The result? Well, famously, Cody didn't get the job done against the Tribal Chief. Though it was all made right a year later, fans at the time were furious at the decision to not crown Dusty's kid as the new top guy. As for Gunther, he had wrestled earlier that same night, beating Sheamus and Drew McIntyre in an all-time slogfest for the Intercontinental Championship. The match was lauded by critics and fans alike and is widely regarded as one of the greatest IC title matches in history, as well as one of the best battles to ever take place on the grandest stage. And what did Cody have to show for his Rumble win? A souvenir rubber chicken, that's what. Number 8, Sid Justice at WrestleMania 8. By all accounts, Sid Justice, the name Psycho Sid was going under at the time, should have won the 1992 Royal Rumble. The only reason he didn't was because sore loser Hulk Hogan helped Ric Flair eliminate him, and he was meant to be the good guy. Anyway, Sid didn't do too badly for himself as he went on to main event WrestleMania 8 against the man that had cost him the Rumble match. Hogan was still the babyface, by the way, somehow. Even though this match was a complete disaster, cue anecdote about Papa Shango missing his cue, Sid still got the coveted final spot on the Mania card. He did technically lose, yes, but only by DQ, meaning he was never pinned or submitted. As for Flair, who had won the WWE title as a result of winning the Rumble, he would spend the night losing to Macho Man Randy Savage in an admittedly very good match slap bang in the middle of the card. Mania 8 should have definitely been closed by Hogan vs Flair for the championship, which makes this bizarre injustice sting even more. Do you get it? Injustice. Oh, never mind. Number 7, Triple H at WrestleMania 24. What's strange about this Mania is that both the Rumble winner and the runner-up both ended up in the same match. The 2008 edition of the 30-man Scramble was won by John Cena. The Massachusetts Superman had returned from injury way ahead of schedule to shock everyone by taking the number 30 spot, last throwing Triple H out of the ring to punch his ticket to WrestleMania 24. Although, that's not exactly how it went down. For some reason, Cena announced that he would be cashing in his Rumble shot at the No Way Out pay-per-view, the show before Mania. He ended up losing his WWE Championship match against Randy Orton, but was still allowed to challenge for the title again a month later. Meanwhile, as a result of Cena's decision, a new #1 contender for the belt had been crowned. And who was it? Triple H, of course! Make it make sense. Both challengers might have come up short in this triple threat when Orton retained the gold, but at least the Game didn't look like a total chump for giving up his guaranteed one-on-one title shot. They clearly didn't teach common sense on Cena's thugonomics course. Number 6, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 33. Let's stick with Randy Orton for a moment and talk about the time he won the 2017 Royal Rumble. The Viper used this victory to go after WWE Champion Bray Wyatt, the man who had indoctrinated him into his cult several months prior. This had all the makings of a great match. Two third-generation superstars with a great story to back things up, and sadly, things took a turn for the weird. This is, of course, the match where Bray used his undefined spooky powers to project images of insects onto the canvas. The action itself wasn't exactly fantastic either, putting this firmly in the lower quartile of Mania World title bouts. But what of the runner-up, a young chap by the name of Roman Reigns? Well, he actually main evented this Mania, becoming only the second man in history to defeat The Undertaker at the granddaddy of them all. Orton might have captured the WWE title, but this was supposed to be Taker's final ever match. Getting to retire a legend of this stature is worth way more than any championship belt, making Orton's victory look even more pathetic by comparison. Number 5, John Cena at WrestleMania 26. 2 years after John Cena pulled the old return early and win the Rumble trick, Edge did exactly the same thing. The Rated R Superstar made his surprise comeback at the 2010 event, last eliminating Big Match John to reserve his place at the WrestleMania table. He ended up challenging his old tag team partner Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship. The two Canadians put on a good show, one of the top matches of the night, but it was the future trunk of the learning tree that came out on top. As for Mr. Cena, he had actually won the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber, but lost it that same night to Batista because Vince McMahon said so. It's been over 15 years since this happened and I still can't make heads nor tails of it. Anyway, Cena got his rematch at Mania and defeated the Animal to reclaim the gold. Not only did Cena actually win his match, but he did so in the night's semi-main event. Edge and Jericho, meanwhile, had to follow the absolute train wreck that was Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Number 4, Ted DiBiase at WrestleMania 5. Prior to 1993, the winner of the Royal Rumble was not guaranteed a world title shot at WrestleMania. Just take a look at the first ever Rumble match to air on pay-per-view from 1989. It looked as if the villainous Ted DiBiase had used his $1 million to buy himself a victory, having bribed his way into the number 30 slot. He made it right to the very end, only to be eliminated by the heroic Big John Studd as the late 80s crowd went wild because big man throw little man out of ring. Unfortunately, 2 months later, it was Ted who had the last laugh. At Mania 5, the $1 Million Man fought Brutus Beefcake to a double countout. Doesn't sound like much, no, but let's just check in with how Mr. Studd is doing. The big man didn't even have a match at Mania 5. Instead, he served as the special guest referee for a match between Andre the Giant and Jake the Snake Roberts. DiBiase might not have won a world title or anything, but getting onto the card when your rival is forced to take a demotion sounds like a better deal to me. Number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 15. Big John Studd is one of 2 Rumble winners not to have a match at the following WrestleMania. This is the story of the other one. The 1999 Royal Rumble is, in most people's estimations, crap. That's because about 90% of the runtime is dedicated to one story, Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon. The two men that had started the match ended up finishing it when, to everyone's horror, McMahon chucked a distracted Austin over the top rope to win the whole thing. Vince McMahon, a Royal Rumble winner? That's almost as insane as him winning the WWE Championship. Oh wait, that happened too. The evil chairman put his Rumble guarantee on the line against Austin at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Thanks to an accidental assist from a debuting Paul White, the Texas Rattlesnake won their steel cage encounter, then used the privilege to go to Mania 15 and beat The Rock for the world title. Meanwhile, Vince wouldn't have his first Mania match for another 2 years. In fact, he spent this show getting his ass handed to him by various babyfaces. Not a great day at the office, if you ask me. Number 2, Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 38. By the time the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble rolled around, Charlotte Flair had grown bored as SmackDown Women's Champion. Because she thought everyone else was beneath her, she decided to enter the match itself to prove her dominance. She almost won the whole thing, naturally, finishing runner-up to a returning rowdy Ronda Rousey. The stage was set for a rematch between two-thirds of the first all-female Mania event, Rousey versus Flair, the conquering hero versus the entitled baddie. Surely the UFC Trailblazer would come out on top? Yeah, about that. In a decision few people saw coming, Flair defeated Rousey in their WrestleMania 38 title clash. It turns out WWE was saving Ronda's coronation for the following month's pay-per-view. Why? I don't know. This was late-stage Vince McMahon WWE. Nothing made sense. Here we have direct proof that the Rumble runner-up had a better Mania than the winner. Not only did Charlotte win her match, but she did so by beating the woman that had pipped her just a few months earlier. Had this ever happened before? Yes, once, and it was somehow even more complicated. Number 1, Triple H at WrestleMania 25. The 2009 Royal Rumble ended with Randy Orton dumping his ex-Evolution stablemate Triple H over the top rope to win. He then proceeded to point at the Mania sign for about 4 hours because the pyro wouldn't go off. This set up a potential match with either Edge or John Cena. However, when Mania 25 came around, Orton's opponent was WWE Champion Triple H. How the hell did that happen? Trips had won the title at No Way Out, setting up another clash with his former protege. Would the Viper get the chance to beat his old boss once again, this time with the gold on the line? What do you think? On the contrary, Orton lost a really boring match. The crowd had been zapped by the awesome Michaels Undertaker barn burner earlier in the evening, and by the time this ponderous affair was underway, they were ready to go home. Poor Randy, he's won the Rumble twice and has been shown up at Mania on both occasions. I honestly don't know why he bothers with wrestling anymore. Oh yeah, the global fame and millions of dollars. Yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. Let's get into the next video. Just